Hi, everyone. Welcome to Freebird Spirit YouTube channel, and thank you for swinging by and hanging out with Ness and I today as we dive into the forecast for November. Ness, hello. It is, it's been quite a month, right?
Oh my goodness. Yes. I can't believe it's this time of month again. We're here again talking about the energies of next month. I do feel October was lighter than September. The eclipse season of September really kind of knocked me sideways. But this particular week, the veil will be very thin. And then the first 2 weeks, actually, probably most of November, the veil will be very thin. And I've had very vivid dreams this past week. How about you? Have you been having interesting dreams?
Oh, lots of interesting dreams always, but it has been more.
Hmm.
And, but I have noticed, and I don't remember if we talked about this before, but I have noticed that even though my closed sign is up when I'm out of this office, it's wide open. It seems to be open. Like
Oh, interesting.
whatever this thinning is, it's like they don't know the rules of my
Oh, interesting. I think that
my
happened
open
in the
sign.
last pit of September too. You were already starting to have people starting to come in and interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, my advice was like talk to your guides, do more sage, more cleansing, but then sometimes the veil is just really thin.
It
That's
just is. It just is because I'm pretty good at that, you guys, because I've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm pretty good at that closed sign. So it's been interesting for sure.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay, yeah. So, hi, folks. We are talking about. Let me see if I can share my screen. Can I? Do I
Oh
press a
yeah, I
button?
got you.
No
Here we
worries.
go.
Can you see this? Okay, great. So, hi, folks. It's that time of month again where we're going to reflect on what happened in October, as well as kind of start to divinate about November's energies. We're going to use both astrology as well as tarot, both divination tools to kind of triangulate what's happening and kind of how to anticipate that. What we're going to first start with is talking about October. And this is Deb's tarot card pull for the month of October, where she pulled a single card for each week. And Deb, when we looked at this, we thought the second week was going to be about the Nobel, which I think it was. And you were mostly reading about Trump's energy, actually.
Right.
You were
Yeah.
using him to kind of filter what the collective experience would be because he's so influential in terms of that. So we saw the second week as his not winning the Nobel, but that third week was very accurate because that's when he was in the Middle East, receiving accolades after accolades about being successful around the peace deal. And I don't know if you watched a bit of it, but the forget what the word is, but the excessive praise that
Oh
was
my gosh.
given towards Trump was so suspicious that a part of me felt it was not sustainable to treat someone like this for so long. And I know Israel uses psychics, like they use psychics. They use what is his name? Uri Geller. He's a famous
Oh,
psychic from the 70s.
okay.
He was actually on Johnny Cash. I don't know if folks are familiar with it. He had to guess there was like a couple containers and he had to guess what the object was on container. He was more mainstream, and I think he bent a spoon on Johnny Cash's show as well. But he's very much vocal that he's employed by the Israeli government. And so I wonder if they know something about his health, and that's why they were being so excessive with his praise, because it's not something they plan on doing forever, just to do it once or twice and then to be done with it.
Yeah.
And then week 4 was this overwhelm, which is, I think, that's when we start to see that the West Wing was kind of demolished. And I don't know if that was Trump's overwhelm and that's how he acted out. It feels like he acted out. It doesn't feel like that was
It
completely,
does feel a little bit of acting out there.
especially post the No Kings protests. And there's different commentary. I Googled it and they said it was the largest single day protest. And the numbers were about 7 to 8 million. But then some folks are saying that it's actually higher.
Oh
Like,
yeah, like 20 million.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. I was surprised
Yeah.
by that. I didn't really look at the crowd size to
Well,
estimate.
I am not, because when they said 7 to 8 million. I'm like, no way. It was way more than that.
Because so the Women's March was the similar record. Do you feel it was larger than the Women's March of 2017?
All of them were larger.
Yeah, actually, no, I did see footage of the Women's March versus that, and it was much. And the costumes and the signs, people were so creative with the signs. It
Oh, I
was
love
just
this
like
one, yeah.
even your sign, you did so much diligence figuring out what's going to be on one side. And what's gonna
Yep.
So, yeah, so October was a big recovery period to integrate what happened post-eclipse season of September. And now we're heading into October. And one thing I want to share with y'all, sorry, November, we're entering November, but I want to share with y'all is the Supreme Court case schedule. And this is a list of all the Supreme Court oral arguments that are going to happen in November. And one thing I want to point, to kind of point everyone's attention towards is November 5th. And November 5th is when the US Supreme Court will hear oral arguments in favor of Trump, using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to enact tariffs. And there's two different things he did. So the two different cases that are being brought together and being combined. And I heard last week that Trump is going to attend the oral arguments. And there has never been a sitting president who's ever attended the Supreme Court's oral argument. So I wonder if he'll get talked out of it or not. But I'm curious, Deb, what's your sense on the tarot? I know I asked you earlier to kind of pull cards on it, but what do you feel? Because on my side, and this is more logic than woo, is just I feel Trump put in Supreme Court justices that he has compromise over.
Right.
And that's why Brett Kavanaugh was kind of eventually voted in, because I think they probably have more horrific footage than Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, and that's why they put him in. That's my own conspiracy theorist theory. But I feel the Supreme Court will uphold Trump's wishes because he just has compromise on them. But what did you see?
And that's initially what I thought too. I'm like, well, yeah, they've been just doing all this, just stepping in line, everything that, Trump wants. Oh, how would this be different? However, when I threw the cards and, can I share,
Yeah, let me stop sharing this.
I'll do it. Oh, I
Okay.
got it. Oh, because, okay. Anyway, so, and we're starting off pretty strong here with the 7 of Wands coming in. And that speaks to, taking your stand, standing against, all this coming at you and not compromising. So I found that interesting. I'm like, okay, so does that mean like everyone? But then it moves into the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So, very direct, this is what we're doing. It's pretty clear, lawful, all in line. So, and then standing in defense of that with that Knight of Swords. So these are the 3 cards that came in for me. So
interesting. It's interesting too, because this was fast-tracked to be put onto the Supreme Court's docket.
Okay.
And so that makes me think of the Knight of Swords bit.
Okay.
Very, very. So from how you interpret the cards, you're feeling yes, that they're going to uphold it.
It feels as though they're gonna not go with Trump.
Yeah. It's a yes kind of across. It feels like a bit of 7 of Wands battle though, so they know they're doing it.
It's a battle. And that's why I was wondering, does this mean the entirety of the Supreme Court, or are they battling against each other? In the end, truth wins out. It's almost like it's still like this right now, but I hope that I'm right.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's the Page of Swords also makes me think of like immaturity, like immature thoughts.
True that, and I thought that too, but with that combination, it's showing
because what Trump is doing is immature, so it's like a fast movement of immaturity.
Totally.
Very interesting.
And so hopefully it's not wishful thinking on these, but
I know. No, sometimes that's why you use the cards and not always rely on yourself, because you can project sometimes what you want.
Yeah, which is sad because when I stepped into the energy, I'm projecting that, of course, they're gonna give it to him, and that's the wrong thing to project.
Yeah.
Because we don't want that energy out there.
Wait, just to clarify, you're saying that they will say no to him?
Correct.
Okay, got it. Oh, because the Knight of Wands. Wait, so Seven of Wands because they're going to defend. Oh, I get it now. Sorry. I apologize, folks. I just had a very different interpretation because I'm so into Trump's always going to win. You're saying that they're going to have to defend themselves. So that's the Seven of Wands. Page of Swords is like the immaturity, but the Knight of... Okay, so they're going to say no. They're going to... Okay, interesting. Because what we talked about earlier is I feel we're in a very interesting time where it's like an upside down world where up is down and down is up. And I feel Bondi, Patel, Congress, the Supreme Court are all acting odd, like they up is down and down is up. And the only rationalization I first go to is everyone must have compromat on them right now. That's like that's a whole the archetype of the Epstein-ness. It's like we're seeing fractals of it everywhere. And so I'm curious on you, Deb, because I don't know if you caught Mandani's speech yesterday or AOC's or Bernie Sanders, but it was amazing. And they were very clear about the people and how workers sort of made America, and that this world was this is a refuge where people were seeking freedom from oppression other places, and they want to kind of make it here in New York in particular because that's what they were speaking to. But how do you see if Patel and Bondi and everyone's acting shady, if Johnson's acting shady, if they're all saying, hey, they want the shutdown because they want to fund insurance for illegal aliens, when like truth doesn't really matter right now? Does that make sense? And it's because I think it's this fractal of this compromat, this archetype of blackmail. How do you see us pushing through this? Like, do you see it's like everyone gets voted out, like Mandani, kind of this new wave of coming in? We are seeing a global trend of Gen Z's uprisings all across the world. Nepal had it. I feel like there's a country in South America that's right now having it. I think it's Argentina. I can't recall specifically. Or it could be Belize. I can't quite recall.
Yeah, and so I think we have a couple things happening here. When I check into the energy here, I see a few things happening. I'm seeing that people have, the blackmail issue, but I'm also seeing people who truly believe in the mission. They are in it to the death type of feel to it. They're like
Miller,
I back this mission so closely, I'm in it to death, or whatever you call it. What's that called when you're?
It's like an oath. Yeah, you're committed. Yeah.
Just so you guys, the family knows what I'm talking about. So they're in it to, either fight to the death. Okay. So I feel like we're dealing with those two things. You have
some people that are compromised.
Some people who are compromised, but
some people are
a large portion, they truly believe in this mission and they signed up. It's been in the books for a long time. Like they're implementing it. It's not just off the cuff. They're doing all these things.
Like the Project 2025 stuff. Like they really believe that for decades. Okay.
Yep. Again, within that, you look at JD Vance, who's just shady. But who, was he bought out? What's the deal?
Did you see he tried to get into the Zohran Mandani fight because Mandani was talking about how the post 9/11 Islamophobia that happened, and if anyone was a brown or even look Hispanic, you would experience harassment after 9/11, and it's so JD Vance's wife likely experienced harassment, Islamophobia post 9/11, and it's interesting. JD Vance. So Mandani was talking about how his mom, his aunt, experienced 9/11, post 9/11 Islamophobia, and then I guess Vance tweeted of how basically kind of whataboutism. Like, why are you talking about your aunt when you're not talking about the 9/11, victims and stuff like that? And then yesterday during the speech, AOC and Sanders really made it clear about this is not about Islamophobia. We're not trying to, pull that thread right now. But he's not acting like a president. Vance is not acting like a president. He's like acting just to hold on.
Yeah, it's weird. And the things he comes out, I know it's all. This is all unprecedented, you guys. We're all living through something
that's sustainable. Like that whole thing with Bibi fawning over Trump, that's not a sustainable play. This is something you just do for 6 months and a year. It's not something you do forever, unless the physics of that is just different than what I think they are. But what did you get in terms of that whole?
I feel like, yeah. And again, I do believe there is some of that, like you said, like that blackmail stuff, and they have something over them. But a lot of this is just shady stuff behind the scenes that they've been planning for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You have the moon, the tower, and the emperor. The emperor's this is the theme of the reading, that emperor piece. And so this whole Project 2025, and they're just trying to look at that shady coming in, trying to sneak in and make that all happen. Yeah. And they are all betraying. They are openly betraying our country, and using betrayal, trickery, the whole thing, dishonest, the whole thing.
Even the Trump's interest with Argentina sending $40 billion, as well as the warships in Venezuela. From what I gather from various sources, it has to do with just an oligarch play on resources.
Yes.
That's all it was. It's just a bunch of rich people that are close to Trump, have their eye in Argentina, have their eye in Venezuela, and they want to either topple the government or they want to control the person that's already there. And so this feels what I used to hear about in the 90s or 80s about, U.S. versus South America politics with the Dole Farm and stuff like that. And maybe it still existed afterwards, but I just thought it went away. We're like swinging back to this. Like,
it's just, everything's coming out to the surface. Nothing can be hidden anymore. Right. So we knew that. How many years ago did I start talking about that? And 2017, I think my guides gave me a message to give to everyone, which became mainstream because everybody started talking about it. But that all this ugliness is going to be coming to the surface, and we just have to continue to, like when you make gold, you boil it, and the impurities come to the surface, and you scrape them, boil it some more. Boil. So we've been in that process for hundreds of years, right? Trying to, and you'll see the pattern of the ugliness come to the surface because it can't stay hidden, and that's what we're going through. And no longer can things stay hidden. The energy just won't allow it.
No,
the vibration that we're in just won't allow it anymore. So you can't hide things under the carpet anymore. It used to be normal in families. You could not go to therapy. There was no such thing because the secrets had to stay in the family. So then we got to the generation where that no longer was there.
Also the internet. We got access to
it kept going,
patterns. Right? We know about narcissists, narcissistic abuse,
all the things. Yeah.
Love bombing, ghosting, all these terms to kind of describe psychological phenomenon in a way we haven't before.
Again, we can't.
So how do you see us getting out of this? Is it the Mandanis that are just going to come out of nowhere that are going to grab the youth vote, or what do the cards say? What do you feel in terms of, or is it just we're still in that middle stage?
I feel a big shift coming in 26, 27. And I feel like, and I've always felt that the younger generation had to do it, because you're fighting against these long time narratives. And just like we were talking about earlier, when you said, watching Obama, who used to be the spark of all speeches, sounded boring.
We were talking about this before we hit record. Obama made a surprise guest appearance on Gavin Newsom's podcast, And he was on speaking for about 10 minutes, but he was so boring. I was like, oh my gosh, he was the one I would like hang, on every word.
Every word.
But he was just like, it was something he could have said in maybe like 3 minutes or something like that. He was just he had that monotone. It was just like, what happened? But it's these people that are just repeating the party line and not really doing the Mindani's kind of like speech. AOC speech yesterday was just amazing.
Phenomenal, you guys. If you haven't seen it, please find it. It's on, I've had it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I've had it. Podcast covers it, and you can even just go to like Mindani or AOC's pages, and then they'll just cover.
Right.
I think the whole day was like 3 hours, like back-to-back presentations.
Okay.
So,
so I feel like we need to release those old narratives of how we're supposed to behave. Kind of like even in our speeches and what we are feeling. And Gavin Newsom gets it. I've seen a couple of his things, and he's at least better, than some of these old.
Yes, I think he's pivoting a lot more than people of his archetype. I'll say that. But he's not pivoting the way Mindani pivots. Like Mindani
no, we definitely need that that energy. 100%.
Yes, and his
the truth
mom
speakers, and if you look at the astrology behind that, the Gen Z, the truth speakers, they don't know how to shadow what they feel. They just
go to the truth of it. Yeah, it's almost currency too with each other. Like if they can quickly get to the truth of something, as opposed to the word salad of things. So yeah, very interesting. His mom, Mindani's mom, is a famous director, Mira Nair. She did Mississippi Masala and Namesake and Monsoon Wedding. So I think he learned a little bit about storytelling from her in terms of her indie films and indie projects. Okay, so then with that, like we checked in a little bit about the collective energies of right now. When you feel into November and December, Deb, how are you feeling? Because we're going to be covering November's astrology today, but how are you feeling in terms of November? Before I kind of share the astrology forecast.
Oh, okay. Like overall,
yeah,
I just feel like we're going through more awakenings. We're going like things are coming to the surface, just like we were talking about just now. And I feel like more confrontation on what's being hidden from us. But I still feel like there's a lot of emotional turbulence throughout the month of November. I think there's still, confusion, but I feel like collectively we're coming into a deeper awareness. I know that this community, this family has awareness, but remember, there's a lot of folks who still don't have that awareness. They're still kind of trapped under the old narratives, some other narratives. But I feel like because of what's happening in the pressure cooker, that this month, a lot of awareness of the manipulation and the control that's been happening, boom, they're going to become aware. And so that's kind of overall what I'm seeing for November.
Yeah, the farmers have to go, okay, maybe Trump isn't going to save us. He did really just give 40 billion to Argentina for their farms. Or didn't he just also buy Argentina beef too? Like he just bought an order of Argentina beef.
Oh my gosh. It's like
it's gonna, and he said it's because the American beef is too expensive, which is, I think it's a counter argument to the tariffs though. So like if
delusions, all of the above.
Yeah, everyone's kind of waking up in different ways. Okay, let's go into the energies of November. Let me go ahead and share my screen again.
Okay, here we go.
And what we might do first is the infomercial bit, folks, before we get into the actual collective energies. And I actually put a little timer by me, and I'm gonna, I don't know if Deb, you want a timer, but I'm gonna put a 3-minute timer when I talk about my
Oh yeah, no, I'll be quick.
Okay.
So here's some for the infomercial. I have some classes coming up, events with, and I do the classes with Kevin Lewis. And we have the intermediate psychic and mediumship development class coming up in January. and it'll be held on Wednesdays at 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And so if you're feeling called to go deeper with your psychic and your mediumship abilities, it's a combination class of kind of combining those two and how it works all together. But for greater confidence and all the things, come join us. It's a fun community to just develop this stuff that's already there for you. And then we have for those mediums psychic mediums who want an advanced mentorship experience. This is an overall 12-week opportunity. And so this is something deeper for those of you who are ready to go into the next layer of your mediumship. We'll be having an intimate mentorship program with this, and it very focused on your personalized abilities that you want to grow, and some advanced stuff, and just it's going to be specific to you. It's not like an overall class. It's really, anyways, it's gonna be a great experience if anybody is ready to go to that next level.
I've actually attended the intermediate psychic mediumship class of yours and Kevin's, and it was great. It's really great to kind of just focus on different aspects and build a foundational understanding of one versus the other, and practice it in such a safe environment with others. And then I might actually sign up for the mediumship advanced mentorship in the new year, I guess in December, because I think it's more hands-on. It's more like,
it's 100% more hands-on.
Are you strong at clairs, not clairvoyant? Like, are you better with mediumship or not? And then kind of almost like a customizable, I want to grow here.
Right.
Even though
it's all very customized to you, more hands-on, yet you also have that circle experience as well. Where each person, and it's a small group. It's only like 10 people. It's going to be, we've
very, very intimate
down to 10.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
And so it's a couple weeks out of each month, going from December to January. So.
Yep. Now, and I think both you and Kevin offer one of the best spiritual development classes on YouTube. You go really deep. It's kind of like leaving no stone unturned.
Stone unturned. We try.
Exactly. I know those idioms. Okay, so I'm going to put a little 3-minute timer when I'm going to talk about mine, because I'm trying to work on brevity on my side. So I have a couple infomercial bits for me. I have my manifestation course that's coming up on 11/11. I'm very passionate about manifestation. I'm really personally good at manifestation. I work in that environment corporately. I work with Fortune 50, 100 companies manifesting new products and services. And I was, a lot of folks, when they're on their manifestation journey, they realize they've been doing it already, or they've been doing it and getting it right sometimes and not getting it right sometimes. And then kind of, this is a formalized way of taking inventory of where you're really good at, starting to work with how to craft an intention.
I was just going to say, being intentional about it.
Yeah, being intentional. Sometimes you can get focused on the goal versus the intention, and we can help you there. And then how to work with guides, ancestors. I'm big about ancestor work. And then while you're waiting for manifestation, like what to do. Like, so it's not just about that one part, throwing it out in the world, the universe, but also the waiting period and how to kind of do repetition or visualization. So we kind of help you through the full cycle. I'm very passionate about the class. It's very kind of detailed curriculum. Each person will have an individualized worksheet, and that's the manifestation. There's still room. I have an AM and PM spot. It's going to be on November 11th, which is Veterans Day, and I have room for both, and it's a 2.5-hour workshop. The next thing I have is my 2026 calendar. I have about, actually, this is not correct. I have about 120 left of the digital calendars, and I have about 30 of the print calendars. I'm already starting to work on the overview of 2026, and a couple highlights. April is very positive. All the planets are direct in April, so there's a lot of forward momentum that happens. Another highlight in August, there's going to be a moment where Jupiter will be opposite Pluto, but there's a beautiful benevolence and assistance from Uranus and Neptune and Uranus. So it's going to be some interesting timeline jumps for the collective, I want to say, in August and maybe also in April. So the calendar will help you understand where it's going to happen in your life. Is it going to happen in your money house? Is it happening in your friendship house, work house, etc.? And so you can start to get an overview of what your 2026 year can start to plan for it. And then lastly, I also do personal readings. And this is a cool thing. If you're watching on a computer or on a TV, you can pull out your phone right now and you can use your camera feature. And if you scan this little code, it will just take you to the self-booking link. So I believe the self-booking will be below this video. That usually Deb puts a little link so you can book. But if you don't want to do that, you can also just pull your phone out and scan this. And the big reading that I do that's very important is the 2025-2026 paradigm shift. This is possibly one of the top 3 most important trends that you'll experience in your lifetime, because it's really about leaving old timelines and narratives and entering new timelines and narratives. And it's very benefic. And there's a clear story arc when we look at your chart in terms of what that new timeline you are going to be entering in as. So,
and I feel like you thought that there's a definite timeline shift in April.
Yes, but in particular, June, that's my little timer.
Well, I asked a question.
Yeah, no, it's fine. June of 2026 to December 2026 is a lot of fire and air sign activity.
Okay.
A lot of fire sign in particular. And so that is us entering a whole new world. And that's a lot. And also the year 2026 is numerology 1.
It is a 1. We're leaving the 9, guys. We're going into.
We're wrapping up this year, and it's about manifesting new. And I think one thing that Trump does, that, for good or bad, is he actually shows us not to rely on precedent, not to rely on past, and just manifest the new. And I believe the Democrats and the GOP both need that permission slip right now. And I think GOP have gotten that message, and the Dems are sort of slower to kind of work that. So I think that's something we can look at your chart, folks, to see where this is happening. But it's a very influential paradigm shift, and it's possibly one of the bigger event shifts, like timeline shifts for you in terms of the course of your life, in terms of how the planets are involved. So now what I'll do, Deb, I'll just go into November's astrology and speak to it, and then we can have you end with pulling a card for each week, or multiple cards for each week. So folks, we are moving into November's astrology, and I'm just going to cover November's astrology this week. I'm going to be on some other shows this week. We'll be talking a little bit about politics like we did today, but we also might cover December's astrology. So just keep in mind there might be some variants in terms of how we approach it. But today we're going to just focus on November, and we're going to do a more deeper dive here. So with November's astrology, there are 3 key things I want you to be aware of. One, the overall flavor of November's astrology is, I want to actually point to variant communication, which is Mercury. Mercury's kind of the main star of November. We're having most of November is going to have a Mercury retrograde. It's going to be Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. So there's a lot of seeking truth. Sagittarius are often truth seekers. They want to get to the truth, unadulterated truth, even if it hurts. That's kind of the Sagittarius vibe. And the main kind of theme of November is this Mercury retrograde in Sag. So not only is it us seeking truth, it is us reflecting back and double checking our work of, do we actually have the right beliefs to kind of build our future? And so this is going to be a main theme. I'm going to go into it further, but then Mercury retrograding is going to hit Mars, Sun, and Venus. So there's something about going backwards and reflecting on what happened. That's going to be a focus of November. And then we also have a beautiful breakthrough energy that sort of starts in November. It goes from November, most of November, and into December, into January actually as well, where Jupiter and Saturn are going to start to trine each other, which is a very beautiful type of energy. It's not going to directly trine in November, but they're going to start. And so you have this sense of breakthroughs with long-term projects. So Saturn is, the timekeeper. It's very pragmatic. It kind of doesn't care about time. It wants to do things as, get it done right versus, get it done on time. And that's going to be trined with Jupiter, which is expansion and joy and optimism. So if you're working on a project for a while, something that's taking years, whether it's saving for a house, whether it's relocating, whether it's about to get, hit retirement, you're going to see some breakthroughs around that type of energy. Like you're going to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel with some of those. And the third thing I want to point out is most in November, and actually this last week of October, we're having a lot of water sign trines. And with this water sign trine activity, it means more, water sign energy, more of like spirituality, intuition, emotional awareness, emotional connection, creativity. And so that's going to be another flavor that's going to occur for November, both the Mercury retrogrades and looking backwards, breakthrough in long-term projects because of Jupiter trining Saturn, as well as this multiple water sign trine. So the veil will be thin the last week of October to the most of November, I would say. So this is a great time to pull tarot. This is a good time to sign up the class, sign up for Deb, have a mediumship reading with her. This is just, it's a little bit psychic. You might have visitations. You might have very interesting dreams during this period. This is just, this is the things that happen when the veil is thinner. But so that's November at a high level, so folks can get a sense of that. When we go into November more deeply, there are a couple of events that I want you to be aware of, and I have 1, 2, 3 here listed. I think those are the top 3 most important ones, but I have a couple other ones that I'm not going to cover, but you can see them here. You're going to have a Mercury conjunct Venus, something really nice with relationships at the end of the month. You're also going to have Venus trining water sign trine, which is really good for relationships that last week, the 24th and the 25th. So if you're dating or, want to spend more time with your partner, that's a good time to possibly do that. It doesn't have to always be romantic. It could just be relationships and friendships. And what is that? Galentine's? That's the Platonic Valentine's Day. So yeah, you can, find your Galentine in your life and spread a little bit more love. And then we also have Mercury conjunct Mars in Sag on the 12th. So there's something about, again, seeking truth, seeking knowledge that's going to be really, really important for us in that particular conjunction. Other than that, though, the first, the second, and the third, those are the ones I want to bring out, everyone's attention. And the first one is the full moon in Taurus. And full moons, in astrology, when you want to look at a month, you really want to look at the new moon and full moon activities, like within the month, regardless of the other conjunctions and trines and etc. So you always want to start with the full moon and new moon. And the full moon is often a symbol of letting things go. So that's like taking your trash out to the dumpster, or like cleaning out your fridge, or going through your closet and getting rid of clothes and saying, oh, actually, I've never worn this, or this isn't me anymore. So that's that whole purge, the outputs, kind of focusing on that. That's a full moon. And then the new moon is often inputs, like going to the grocery store and getting better, healthier choices, or new brands you've never tried before, or new clothes, because you're new. So when it comes to a month, you want to look at full moon and new moon. So this like inputs, outputs. So the full moon is the outputs, what we're releasing, what we're letting go. And I find this very interesting because it's in Taurus, which represents like steadiness, stability, what's real. And Taurus also rules values, finances, material world. And on this day, there's some beautiful breakthrough energy with sextiles and trines with other planets, which means like we're not doing things normally. We're gonna approach it differently. And this is all on the same day as the Supreme Court tariffs. So actually, Deb, I would say this is a case for what you saw, because my, I don't know, cynical part of my brain wants to just say, okay, the Supreme Court is just going to.
It's the same with me. We're just like,
they're gonna they have Trump has him in their back pocket. They're gonna vote the way he wants him to. But astrologically, it actually shows some breakthrough energy that there could be, that they won't vote and say yes. And so this is an interesting culmination, because this is the culmination of something that occurred 6 months before. And that is kind of the same time when the tariffs were sort of enacted. So it's not, I think it happened greater than 6 months, but that same vibe of this whole chapter. So, and one thing too, if they vote no, and they say this is not legal, this is not a woo-woo thing, this is just a logical thing, the stock market will take a dip. And that's because it's overinflated, assuming that the reality is that we can do the tariffs. And so folks who are aware of this, just be aware it's going to be a dip because it's a course correction. But I do feel in the next coming months, we will sort of absorb this because I believe last week we had a record high of the stock market. So this is just about an overestimation of value. And so this is something I want folks to be aware of, this full moon in Taurus. And so just be aware where Taurus is in your chart and what themes you'll be having. But it's very positive with breakthroughs. And it kind of matches what Deb you had for this for the tarot. It's actually going to be in his favor. The second thing I want to point out is the new moon in Scorpio, but there's a lot of positive astrological events happening on that day as well as right after. And so I kind of want to smash it together when I talk about it. So again, we talked about when you look at a month, you want to look at inputs, outputs, new moon and full moon. And so we just covered the full moon in Taurus, what you need to release, what you need to let go of. So actually releasing the tariffs makes sense, Steph. Actually, the Supreme Court's going to release it. They're not going to hold on to it. They're going to say, oh my God, sorry. It tickles me when I find these little connections. So then November 19th is a new moon in Scorpio. And I'm curious if you want to pull some cards on this type of new moon energy, because this is that whole, you were saying, getting to the, that whole gold, like, purifying gold. Like Scorpio is about getting to the bottom of things, getting to the darkness, and going to the darkness or the taboo topics, not to be, not to run away from them or shy away from them, but to glean in so you can control it and it doesn't control you. And so with the new moon, it's often about new beginnings, new fresh starts. It's the Scorpio placements and the trines that are happening at the same time. There's something very emotional with this particular new moon, this like a sense of a new you being invented, a new sense of your power, a new sense of your autonomy, establishing new power dynamics too, saying, no, I'm not going to tolerate that anymore. There's something about your inherent power. And I would also put this like your manifestation power, like your inherent power as a spiritual being, kind of your recentering with that. And I also, with the placements that are occurring on that day and the day after, the veil will be very thin, high psychic intuition, enhancements. This is a great time to pull tarot, to kind of sign up for a class, to book a reading. Pay attention to your dreams too. Write down if you can, or voice memo right when you wake up to record what happens, because the messages are going to sort of come in. And Mercury's retrograde during this whole time. So there's a focus of looking backwards, like looking at the past, looking at what has been done, and using that to fuel what needs to be supported in the future, using the past to kind of reference the future more. So
I think as a collective that week, I think a lot of people are going to be awakened.
Very awake. And what's interesting, I just remembered, this week, the Mandani would be voted on already. So that full moon culmination is either the end of him, which I hope that's not the case, but also the end of the oligarchs, the end of the old power. Taurus rules finances, material world. And so he would represent a symbol of the end of that. So we'll see in terms of that astrology. And the last one I want to end on is oops, that's wrong. Psychic breakthroughs. Is the 22nd. Very positive. We're having Mercury in Scorpio trining Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. And so this is a really beautiful, another moment of psychicness, enhancement, but expanding your perspective, creativity. So if you're working on a book or a creative project or remodeling your house or a business idea, this is a great day to work on it. Actually, that whole week is really great with the Mercury placements. But I would say just after that new moon, a couple days before leading to the 22nd, and then a couple days after the 22nd, is very positive to work on things that require creativity, a new way of thinking, moments where you kind of hit a wall in different ways. You'll have breakthroughs, and they're kind of divinely guided. They're kind of very like it's time. So this is a great time to work with your spirit guides, or whoever you work with. But it kind of ends on a really nice note on the 22nd, as well as those beautiful placements on the 24th and the 25th. So that is how I would describe November's astrology. Now, Deb, do you want to talk about the tarot side of things?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and, where are we? Boop. Well, thanks for that. And as you were speaking, like you do, I was like, oh my gosh, that really shows because I always like to throw the cards before we get on here, so I'm not shuffling and doing each week and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, yeah, that kind of matches.
It's already matching.
The tarot cards that we got going on here, and some of the reading that I was sensing, that I am still sensing through them. But I really do feel this month we're going to see you know how we feel like we've been taken on this roller coaster up and down, up and down. I think we're going to see a little of that with 45 this month as well.
Oh, he's going to experience it
He's
more.
going to experience a little of that.
Oh, interesting.
So we will see that. And I feel like things are going to be revealed, whether some alliances that they've tried not to show with for him to share. I feel like that's going to show. I think he's going to get kind of blindsided by some of it. So just be aware of that this month.
Because the logic is if the shutdown stops, the Epstein files would be voted right away. So it's not a, and there's some women on The View that really believe the shutdown is just because of the Epstein files. That's
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
If it's just about that, or they're happy for you to believe that. It could be other reasons as well. Is what I'm getting there. There's something else shady behind the scenes. So if he keeps it closed down, then he can shut Congress down, and then he's, you know what I mean, and not have to go through Congress for anything.
Oh, so he can use his own back end.
Yeah, so there's something about manipulating this and squishing Congress completely out.
Yeah.
So he can make decisions on wherever he wants to spend the money.
Yeah, yeah.
Without having to go through Congress. So there's something more to that.
Because that whole $40 billion with Argentina wasn't through Congress, right?
No,
it was through him. I'll fact check that just to make sure, but yeah.
Yeah. So
voted on that. Then they don't get punished though, because then their voters would say, "Why did you vote, Senator or Congressperson?" But then they can just say, "Well, Trump did it. I didn't do it."
Right. That too. So there's a lot to that. Something with that. But yeah, there's going to be, more turbulence. We've already built up our muscle so we can get through this month too. And as Ness was showing, we're going to have some good things as well. So that's good. Because awakening's coming, and that's a big theme this month is awakening. I don't have money for food right now. And because I don't have they took away all the food cards for everyone.
Food stamps. The SNAP.
SNAP. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. SNAP. The SNAP word. But all of this is going to force people to confront the shadows that we've all seen. But it's going to force some others to do that as well. All right. So again, but we're going to see more of that control, emotional control, and all the things happen. But it's going to push a collective awareness. So that's an overall, but let's look at week 1.
And I have November 1st to November 8th.
Correct. So November 1st through November 8th. And we start off, so we start here and go to here, right? So, and you said something about water.
Yeah, a lot of water sign activity.
Starting off the month with the Ace of Cups here. And the deck I'm using is Awakened Tarot for those who ask. I brought it to
Thank you for doing that. I know
I brought it to the table because everybody asked. All right. And so the overall energy this week is that our emotions and maybe needs a reset because of all the confusion and illusion that we're facing that are continually forced onto us. And remember the voting, we vote on the 4th, November 4th.
Oh, that's right. And that's the Ace of Cups too.
The elections are.
Wow, can you imagine if that week when people are voting, SNAP is still not enacted? That's going to really empower them to vote even more.
Right.
Wow.
So again, this week is, with this opens with it talks about a fresh wave of emotions here with the Ace of Cups. And again, we're pushing for unity, and we're also being pushed into compassion And so we're seeing that happen more and more with the SNAP benefits being taken away.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm,
and so we could see a public outpouring because of something that touches all of our hearts. What else would be than people not being able to eat,
mhm,
not being able to have food, and we're moving into the holidays without,
mhm.
this is so it's going to push a humanitarian effort coming in on this as we look at this and look for relief efforts. And so it's a real moment for us as humanity. And it's going to remind us what empathy
Yeah.
is. It's going to remind everybody what empathy really is. This is what this week is
I
offering.
don't think it's actually ever happened since since it was enacted. I don't think there's ever been, um I don't think SNAP was ever used as a political bargaining chip
Right.
for this. So they've never experienced it, and usually there's a USDA back-end fund too,
Right.
that usually basically farmers' food gets redirected to SNAP because they and then they bill the farmers. So it's actually a business model to kind of do that as a backup, like the backup generator when a hospital's power goes out,
Mhm.
and even that got turned off. So
Right, everything.
this
And
is a
so and also, being aware of those who are government workers who haven't worked and are being forced to work. If they don't go to work, they're considered AWOL. So,
very interesting.
moving into that 7 of Cups, you're seeing, that illusions, mixed messages,
Mhm.
more from that type of thing. The manipulation is strong here.
I
M
mean,
The
if Mandela,
media spins, they're gonna blame
yeah,
the Dems to why,
I mean,
there's
I was
no
gonna,
SNAP benefits, they'll blame the Democrats, the
yeah.
whole.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Mandani doesn't win or they say Comey wins by a landslide or something, I'm gonna be very Seven of Cups with that, like
Right,
suspicious.
yeah, because
So
that would be false.
yeah, that would be really,
That's not real, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So, but people are gonna start seeing through it, that's the thing. I know this is hard to go through,
yeah, yeah,
but know that people are gonna go, "Wait a minute."
yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though we've been saying, "Wait a minute," for
I know, yeah.
years, they're
Very
gonna start
nice.
saying, "Wait a minute here." And so, again, with Trump on this, he's gonna manipulate, uh, with words, he's gonna play the victim or, all the things he normally does here.
Mhm,
But people are gonna start seeing through it, and so I'm here for that.
mhm.
Alright, so
Week 1, yep, now week
yep,
2,
that was week 1.
and
So moving into week 2,
which is November 9th to the 15th.
correct.
Ooh,
Wait,
oh my
I'm
goodness.
sorry, it goes this way. So it's Hangman first,
Oh, okay, Hangman first, okay.
moving into the 5 of Cups there. And, this energy is just it's kind of like a
Same.
stagnation feel, reckoning, regret.
Oh my god.
So, again, that collective feel of, "Oh," you know?
Do you do you think that second week is them still not the shutdown still going on and the SNAP is not funded?
Oh, yeah,
'Cause that would be pretty shocking. I mean,
I
if
do
SNAP
too.
is not effective during Thanksgiving, because American culture is so food-centered, that feels like like a violation or something, like an oxymoron, like
Oh,
we should
yeah,
be funding people during
definitely a
Thanksgiving.
human violation, people going out without
Yeah.
food.
Wow.
Um, so the hangman is, that pause there, and, it also talks about bringing in that perspective shift. Again, this energy is hard to get through, you guys, but it's bringing that shift that we've been wanting. Okay, we can do this. Nationally, this could mark that pause or lull in investigations, whether something's been going on, legal matters, all the things that
Mhm,
there could be a pause here with all that, a hold. So I'm looking at we just had those elections, right, the week before, and we're still kind of in a pause, because of what? You know what I mean? So
mhm.
something could be connected to
Like
that.
a voter recount or something?
Yeah, like a
Mhm,
recount or we don't know yet,
yeah.
you know, people are, the whole thing.
Mhm.
Um, So, all right. So then moving into the Five of Cups, we have that regret, public disappointment, revelation. But again, it does force people to look at the uncomfortable.
Mm.
It's still, we're still, and that's what we want. We want people to wake up and help,
Mhm.
we're getting there, and that's okay. Um, and finally realizing some of these uncomfortable truths,
Mhm,
they've been
mhm.
like not wanting to see type of thing.
Yeah.
And so then looking at Trump, I'm seeing, you know, he's also experiencing some setbacks this
Yeah,
year.
that's what I wonder if the man in the figure was Mandani or Trump, and I actually feel it's more Trump than Mandani.
It looks like Trump, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's frustrated. It's, it says regret. Five of Cups is always regrets, but that doesn't match who Trump is. So he's just
Mhm,
probably frustrated, um, and things are slipping out of his control.
mhm,
We're going
mhm.
to start seeing that slippage on that week too. All right, so we're week 3. Sorry, I need to move
Yeah,
faster.
that's fine. Yeah, week 3, November 16th to the 22nd. Oh.
Oh,
I looked, they're almost like women in both. Well, I know that there's a man in the other, but it felt very feminine.
yeah, yeah. So we
Yeah.
have the High Priestess and the Two of Cups. Very interesting combination for week 3. So we
Mhm,
see at week 3 feels a little bit more. It feels better, a little bit better.
mhm.
And I think on your astrology it was a little bit of a better week.
Yeah, no, Mercury retrograde, that was also the, new moon in Scorpio was on the 22nd as well, so or maybe
Right.
the 19th.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we're feeling a little bit of that here. We're seeing people, some alliances and wisdom emerging
Mhm,
here. So if you're looking at the Two of Cups, we're looking at some cooperation, maybe a truce, maybe some unexpected. Maybe was it like this? I don't know.
alliances.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's
Mhm.
all the same way.
Yeah.
But since I started with the Two of Cups,
I wonder if that's also the Epstein files being released
could
because
yeah.
it's a
Mhm.
relationships.
So it looks like groups coming together for the greater good. Maybe
Mhm.
people the week before are like, okay, we were just pushed to our limit. We really
Mm,
need to we need to come together and make something happen.
mhm,
And it's for the greater good. And then you have that High Priestess coming in, uh, truth known. So there's some stuff that may be revealed or whatever, but you have that intuition and
mhm.
that feel with her there. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
wisdom.
And that's also the week before Thanksgiving too.
That's true.
So
Oh,
interesting.
and for Trump, looking
Mhm.
at these cards for Trump, it looks like, I mean, it could be that people start working against him behind the scenes,
Yeah. The
right?
High Priestess, yeah.
Uh, Looking for, you know, the power, some justice here,
Mhm.
intelligence agencies, the whole thing, all those. Um, it could even be the Epstein files
Yeah. Mm.
coming, right? Because you have that feminine. You
Yeah.
said feminine. Okay, so then we're moving into what week are we in?
We're November 23rd to the 30th.
Right. Okay, week 4. So I, yeah, 4
Yeah,
weeks.
4. Yeah, 4.
All right, so it
Oh
goes
my
like this. And that devil card is always
god.
45 for me.
How interesting.
So we have that Knight of Pentacles coming in. This steady, methodical progress, slow wheels of justice type of feel to it,
Mhm.
coming towards 45 there. Um, so it looks like to me his shadow energy is rearing up again
Yeah,
here.
he's gonna do something. kind
Yeah,
of skipping it.
it's like one of those things where he's gonna double down because he sees the walls closing in.
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like the acting out, like, I'm gonna demolish this because I don't like the King's March
Right.
protest.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna see some of that happening on that week 4, and of course, that week 4 is Thanksgiving, so that's gonna be horrid. But,
Mhm.
yeah, that that tightening of control, whatever he's doing, um, lashing.
It also feels from the cards, it feels like the government shutdown stops that third week, especially with the Two of Cups and High Priestess, and that means the government shutdowns, possibly the Epstein files, but I could see them being shenanigany and getting the files released the following in first week of December. But that devil thing is getting ready because he's being exposed a bit,
Right.
slowly exposed,
Right.
possibly.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's gonna double down, so we can see him act out. And, looking at this, nationally, feels, like a sobering week
Mm.
nationally. Um, Corruption, control, moral compromise. Yeah, so, uh, like dismantling all the things. So I be prepared for that week 4, but
Mhm.
again, it's we are continually moving to the higher and best good for everyone.
Mhm.
So hold on to that, but and I also feel like it's just such a beautiful opportunity if you can, to give money to your food banks.
Yes.
Uh,
The
they can get food for a dime on the dollar. Then if we go and buy food, they can get
Mhm.
that same food for a dime on our dollar because
Yeah.
they have contracts with the grocery stores and stuff. So if we give them money, it goes further.
And they have tax benefits too. Like if they buy it or the when people if grocery stores sell food to them at a cheaper rate, they can tax write it off in different ways than if we went to a grocery store and bought food. Like
Okay,
so.
so
Yeah.
after I did all that, I didn't want to kind of leave it at such a messy end
I
of the month. So
yeah,
I pulled a couple cards, um, talking about, like guidance from
okay.
spirit of
On how to move through November.
how to get through November, right? And so here's my 2 cards. You have the 2 of Wands and the 5 of Cups there.
Mm,
Yeah.
it's a double
And
five of cups.
yeah. Um, so this gives us it speaks to if we're looking at that 2 of Wands, that vision that we hold on to, keep
Yeah.
that vision,
Yeah.
keep the direction, make those positive conscious choices.
Mhm.
It's almost like we've been put at this crossroad and we're looking out to what could be, right?
Yeah.
Imagining a different future, a better one, keep manifesting that. Take Ness's class and start manifesting a better
Yeah.
future. um, but also realizing that we have to plan,
Mhm.
plan and act intentionally,
Mhm.
right, to bring things into fruition there. Uh, and it's also speaking, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope because, looking at this 5 of Cups, you have those 2 cups here, right?
Yeah.
I know that we're focused here at all the shit show going on, but, don't lose hope with these two
Yeah.
cups still standing. Um, and, yes, acknowledging pain, but you don't have to live there.
Yeah.
Just turn around and look and still at what's still
See the other
standing,
things you still have.
and then plan your next move,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
And
so there is hope here.
especially it's a double 5 of cups because you pulled it in the actual reading,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of water sign trines for most of November.
right.
It's really an invitation to feel your feelings and not to block them. Like just let yourself feel because then the intuition, the creativity, all of that is there too. Once you let yourself, your ability to manifest too,
Mhm.
comes from all of that deeper knowing. And so part of that is to feel your feelings. Can I ask one other tarot card read?
Yes, but I just wanna say one more thing about this
Yeah.
spirit message, and remember that, y y you know, the f the Five of Cup reminds us that whatever needs, the healing begins, or the shift begins when we stop staring at what's fallen,
What you have.
and start nurturing what still remains.
Yeah.
Right? So we can't keep going, we want the America we had, 5 years ago. Well, we need to stop that. We need to start focusing on what still remains and build from there.
Yeah.
And
Great.
that's okay.
Yeah.
It'll help shift our angst and our pain and our sorrow and our grief and all the things. All right. So what do you have for me?
I want to ask one last question before we end on a game. I'm curious, Mandani, do you see him winning or not? You could pull one card or three cards. I'll pull cards too. I think it was Madison Square Garden was where he was at last night. I think that he just filled it up to the rim. Very similar like to Kamala. Kamala had, sold out stages, and then, it ended up being what it ended up being. But do you see him winning? And I'm going to pull cards yes or no. I pulled three. But I'm curious about your intuition.
Okay.
I do feel he's divinely being helped. I do feel like, not angels on him, but kind of like just divine energy around him.
Yeah, he does have a lot of people like wrapping him up with a lot of prayer energy.
I think even future people are kind of are reaching out from the future to help him. Like, it's an interesting,
I like
a leader. They're kind of like, we're going to help you. Like, they figured out how to future send energy, which, folks, we will cover a little bit in manifestation, of course, future sending.
I'm wondering if that's the hiccup of the pause and we don't know.
Like a voter recount type of thing? Because I feel like he would fight it too if it was.
And he would, and good for him. And we all should. We shouldn't just go, oh well, we can't appear to be. Because it was a resounding yes, he wins, but it may not be. You know what I mean? It may not be. It may be one of those things.
My cynical brain either goes, they do some shenanigans to like scare people or etc., or they pull some last minute trick, like he got money from another like, I don't know, something that would make people feel like, oh my gosh, or if they would literally just steal the votes. Like,
no, it would be more of like somehow manipulating the votes,
the voting machines. So
but my disgust is that I can't believe that the other guy would allow that to happen.
Como.
Like
he would. Yeah, you feel like he's got a little bit of integrity but when people are desperate on the end of the road,
would have a little integrity there.
But he had the whole thing, and I apologize if I'm misquoting this, but I think he deliberately kept nursing homes locked with unhealthy patients because he didn't want the numbers to be higher or something, or he thought, oh, they're already dying, I'm just going to put sick COVID patients with other nursing home patients. And so his ethics aren't completely clean. I'll just say that, especially the women's stuff that he's. I think he's got like 34 female coworkers who felt he was inappropriate or he touched them inappropriately.
Right.
And he's like, well, because I didn't, completely essay them, like, then I'm okay. It's okay if I, I'll just do that.
All right. I'm going to throw some cards too, but I do feel, I feel a landslide actually, but hopefully they allow that to move forward.
I mean, the No Kings protest plus a landslide with Mandani, that would really give us a lot of juice right now. Like, I also pulled cards, but I'll wait till you go first.
Okay. I need to ask the question better.
And he's only 33.
Wow.
33. That's like he's having his Uranus opposite Uranus or Uranus square. There's a Uranus event that everyone goes through in their 30s. I think it's Uranus opposite Pluto.
Okay. So, yeah, so I'm right. Like there is some stress about it. But it looks like in the end, you have breakthrough that, that he does win. He gets the votes. This is the outcome. This is the outcome.
That's what I felt about him too. Star.
Yeah. But this is the theme. People are stressed out. I don't know. This is like the theme of the reading. It's like he has to win, right? But yeah, this is the outcome here. People are showing up. They see that this
The Lovers. Yeah, he's that actually matches my
New York loves him. Yeah.
It's so I have very similar to what you have. It actually starts with the moon. So it goes with moon.
Isn't that interesting? Because I had the 9 of Wands.
Yeah, the something anxiety, fears, the hidden things, but then it ends on cups.
Yeah.
What you have as well, the emotions, relationships. Sorry, I'm trying to get it around here. So it's a yes, he does. There's something shenanigan-y though. There's something, either maybe a really horrific. I mean, if they're already doing Islamophobia ads, like there's probably more in terms of like something really intense to discourage people, to threaten, but then at the end, it still is. It's emotions. It's connected, which is the elections during this beautiful water sign trial. The veil is thin.
A lot of emotions in this one.
Yeah.
And just know, if you're watching this after, just know that we think no matter what, he won.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ness, thank you as always. It was so great, very informative,
Yes.
and gives us, some things to hold on to and prepare for, and all the things for November. So I love doing this with you, and I know the family loves it as well. So thank you for taking the time
Thank you
and
for having me.
sharing your beautiful gift with us, and to help us forward. So everyone, we love you, and stay connected, and continue to share your love and your light with everyone. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, Ness.